society. How is everyone? We're so glad that you're here joining us once again. We're here on Let's Talk.
Let's talk right now.
Let's talk
This very second.
right now.
This moment.
This is the time to talk if you want to talk. This is what we do. I still haven't been able to pull it up. Okay, I've got it now.
I got it.
Do us
How
a
we
favor.
doing?
Those of you who are watching with us, if you'll go ahead and tag and share. We are here at the new time.
That's right.
It's earlier. First time on at this time.
East Coast family.
Yeah.
Y'all are having maybe dinner. Do people call it dinner or supper?
What do you call it?
I say dinner. I'm just gonna eat because
I call it food because I'm gonna eat again anyway.
And I don't have time. I mean, I try to eat morning, noon, and night, but I'm the kind of person that my first meal still needs to be breakfast. So even if I don't eat till 2, I'm trying to eat breakfast at 2.
Yeah, breakfast has a shelf life for me. I've got to. If it's past
really hungry
11:30
right
in the
now.
morning, I don't want breakfast anymore. I don't.
Okay, well,
I'll still eat
I
it
do.
if you cook it.
I
But
want some pancakes and eggs. Yeah, because I do. Because
I'm not a pancake person.
Really?
I'll eat
That's
them
not
if you
true.
make them, but I never ever want.
Let's be real.
I never want a pancake
I've never not seen you not eat my pancakes.
because you leave them. I'm a leftovers guy. I don't like to see food left over on the plate. I just
Like-
think that's wrong. I think
You
if
eat
there's food
blueberry,
on the plate, eat it.
pancakes?
Because I love blueberries, but I never ever. When have you ever heard me
Look,
say?
let's
"Man, I
not
want some
talk about pancakes because I'm hungry and I'm gonna want to eat some pancakes.
I'm just not a pancake person. I'm a pancake over waffles guy.
Yeah, I like anything with syrup.
Anything with syrup. Anything with syrup.
Mine is like the Christmas movie where I don't want syrup and spaghetti or something.
Next time I wake
but-
up in a bad mood, I'm gonna have a syrup packet. Since you like anything with syrup,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up in a bad mood and just
Put syrup all over you.
just have a syrup packet like this.
Oh, I thought you put syrup all over you.
Oh, that's sticky. That could get sticky. That's different jokes
I'm
for
sorry.
different
And then-
days, America. Different jokes for different days, America. No syrup on me. I have too much chest hair. That could get painful really fast.
I could totally do a wax. We could try it with syrup. How about that? We should do some kind of like generous giving, you know, and we could ask people, will wax Pastor Javi's. Is that appropriate?
Chest? Do you remember that time I lost that bet
arm.
and I had to do my nose?
Yeah, that's gross.
You remember
Let's
that
not
time?
talk about that. But I'm just saying we could find different ways, and that would be awesome. And I'd love to do the honors of that. I'm just going,
Who would donate money
yes. Would y'all donate
for
money?
me to get my? I have a sweater on under my shirt. That's why I sweat so much. Like I could braid my chest hair. Like it's long. I got it from my
Is this
daddy.
appropriate talk?
If we
Karen,
talked about a woman's chest hair, that would be inappropriate.
That was not,
But
definitely
we're talking
not.
about mine.
Okay, I just want to
People
make
know
sure.
guys have body hair, and that's okay.
I'm like, Karen, is this appropriate?
I'm serious.
Because I feel like I'm turning bright red. Am I bright
What?
red?
It's my chest hair.
'Cause I
If
feel
anyone's
so
gonna turn red, it should be me. I'm talking about myself.
Whoa.
Jason, what's going on, bro?
Jason, will y'all tag and share and like all
We
the
want to
things?
see some of you pop up, man. Say hello. There's a few of you on already. Say hi to us so that we can see you, know who you are, and acknowledge you. We want to be able to say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. We're excited to try out this new time. We just know that we have people from different time zones that do watch and they do partake, and so we
Yeah,
wanted to try to
we're
catch that
listening in.
middle slot. Get people getting home from work, maybe people that are at work. I know Jason's at work, so don't get fired, bro. You should be on the clock right now, or he might be on his way into work. But we're here because we want to be able to have an opportunity for you to get to know us, for us to have also a chance to speak into your life, to answer any questions that you might have. I think one of my favorite things to do is, things that are like rapid fire type things where people just ask questions that you're not expecting, and then you're able to give them answers. You know what I mean? I think that that's one of my favorite things to do. And so that kind of created this opportunity for us to be able to do that together. I don't know, well, I'm sure a lot of you may or may not know this, but you were actually in pageants.
Yes, why are we?
And Well, we're talking about rapid fire questions being asked.
Okay, I was like, we're
because you
talking
do
about
that in pageants. Whenever you do your,
It's not rapid fire. It's more like it's interview questions.
y'all see how she set me straight right there?
Okay.
She even looked up when she did it. It's not rapid
It's
fire.
not.
It's do you know the question before they ask you?
No, but you know the genre of types of questions they're going to ask. They're going to ask like current events. They're going to ask things about where you're from. They want to get to know you personally. So it's not rapid fire is more like quick on the spot. It's random. So because it's like interviews, like you can prepare for it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, I learned something if I ever want to do pageants. I know that I'm going to have a cheat sheet. Hey, my nephew Adam is watching. Adam, what's up, nephew? But we want to be able to ask you, or not ask you your questions, but
You ask us.
have you ask us questions and us be able to answer those things and then have some fun in the process.
I still want to know for everybody that's jumping on, would y'all be willing for a good cause as we continue to raise funds for our building campaign? Oops, I hit the mic. Sorry, Daniel. Would they be interested in using, we could use honey, syrup, tape
To wax?
to wax.
I think you just want me to be in pain. That's what that sounds like. Do it outdoors, probably?
Yeah, just-
so the ants could come join?
You know?
That sounds nice.
Just want to know if anybody's willing. That's all I'm saying.
For
Okay,
me to
go
be
back.
willing to go through putting honey, syrup, tape, I could handle tape. But honey or syrup on me,
You have to find
like
one.
that's we're in the thousands of dollars.
Okay.
Like that would
Listen, let's do
take
it.
minimum five.
Do it for Jesus, for missions.
Minimum $5,000 for me to do that. $7,000 chest and back. I'll do both.
Come on, somebody. Let's.
I'll do both.
I'm gonna whacking this thing.
I'll do both. People could even go. People could even
See?
give
More-
to come yank a piece off if they wanted to. How would that go over?
If you're just now joining us, we're talking about
My excessive amount of chest hair and
Body
Pastor
waxing.
Erica's desire to yank it off.
Listen, Karen said we needed to be real conversation. This is a real conversation I want to have.
I'd do it. I'd do it for the right price.
Well, let's get some questions.
Well, the first one that just popped in, somebody just wants to know, this is a cool little question. It says, what is your favorite binge watch?
What's your favorite binge watch?
Oh my gosh.
Pastor
I
Jay?
have one that I watch without fail. I don't even think it's a binge watch. It's more of a comfort show. I love to watch The Big Bang Theory. Like when I am, when I turn on The Big Bang Theory, that means the day's done.
Okay.
That's done.
Rest and
But
relaxing.
I've gotten into this other show. I'm not going to recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, don't say it.
But, no, I'm going to say what it is.
No, don't say it.
No, I'm going to say what it is.
No,
it's a
don't-
show that I like to
don't
watch.
say
It's
it.
the
Don't-
Power Book series. And I really just got into it.
That's a power book series.
Well, I'm not going to give any more
Okay, yeah,
information
that's
than that. But it is the Power Book series. And I really, I enjoy it. I've watched a lot of it. So Ubering and binge watching television is not safe, but I do it, admittedly. I just have a headphone in. I'm not really watching it, but the show's playing while I'm
Got it
driving.
behind. I binge watch anything home shows, but recently, randomly, I've been binge watching the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, like the old school show. So we have all of the like Hulu, Netflix, all the things. Well, apparently, if you have a smart TV, it pulls up for you. I guess the regular channels, which I don't even remember. I mean, I don't know how many years, y'all, has it been since we've had some regular channels,
Yeah, it's not even
So-
necessarily local channels. They just have some
Yeah.
pre-formatted.
So, anyways, yeah, that's what I've been binge watching the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, and like literally, but it's like from the beginning seasons to like I think it ends in 2021. I think they stopped showing it after that, but it goes on a loop. And yeah, so yesterday I watched I think the final one that I hadn't seen, and I cried at the end because these girls work so hard.
I caught a couple of episodes with you. Those coaches are brutal.
They're tough.
They really are, especially when they tell the girls they're too chubby. That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Because none of those girls look chubby. Like, if I went and tried to
they're
become a Dallas
overweight.
Cowboys cheerleader, you might want to say that to me. But these other
I'm
girls
tagging
out
some
there,
friends.
that is not okay. We've got Isaac Bittencourt. My brother Frankie is watching right now too. But Pastor Isaac Bittencourt, we got to meet him out there in Tulia, Texas, a year or two ago. I guess it was a year ago.
So glad.
I went to the doctor today, and I realized it was just last year that I had surgery, right? Or was it the year before that?
For
my foot.
For your foot? Last year.
It was last year? It doesn't even feel like it's only been a year.
Oh, no, maybe it was, I don't know.
I don't remember. It had to have been a year ago.
Okay.
But anyway, Isaac Bittencourt, seeing that name reminded me of having, because I was still on the scooter whenever we went over there.
Oh.
That day was such an inspirational day for me because we were going back and forth, and we'll get another question coming in here in a second, but we were getting there. I remember being in so much pain that day and being uncomfortable, and they had this ramp, and I was glad because, you know, you get into a smaller town, sometimes just the setup is a little bit different, but going onto this ramp, from that dirt road, I had that scooter, and I'd already fallen a couple of times, so I was kind of nervous about it. And I remember getting there and being on one leg, you know, and it just kind of got me, you know what I'm saying? And then I saw this man go there, and he had both legs amputated. And I just remember seeing that guy, man, it just really got my attention.
Wow.
It was one of the coolest things to see, just because it was encouraging for me. I figured if I could be there with one that I was waiting to mend, you know, nothing compared to someone showing up with none at all.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But we talked about let's see. Josh Delgado is asking, what's the best scripture to read when life is getting a little tough?
That's a good question, Josh.
What's your go-to?
My go-to.
And thank you for the question, by the way.
Yes. So ask the question one more time.
What's the best scripture to read when life is getting a little tough?
Best scripture to read. I'm trying to think of the one I read today. Man, there's so many good ones. So, you might have to answer that one first.
I know for me,
because there's a lot of scriptures that I have, so I want to answer it. Let me think about it for a second.
I know for me, Romans 8:28. Romans 8:28 that says, and we know that all things work together for the good to those who love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. And that verse really came alive to me whenever, at the very beginning of my sobriety, because there was a lot of uphill battles. And one of the things that really just came to my attention in that moment was that the word good, all things work together for the good according to those who love God. Wait a minute. Sorry.
Okay.
We know that all things work together for the good for those who love the Lord, who are the called according to his purpose. And I used to read that passage and say that all things work together for the good to those who love the Lord, who are the called according to his purpose. In other words, if I'm called to his purpose, then all things work together for the good, right? But it wasn't until that season of my life that I realized that all things work together for the good according to his purpose. So it doesn't mean that all things end good. It doesn't mean that all things feel good. It doesn't mean that I will always categorize things as good. They work together for the good according to his purpose. And God's definition of good and our definition of good are two different things. Our definition of good is pleasing. God's definition of good is effective and useful. And so all things working together for the good means all things will be effective in the purpose according to God's purpose, and all things will be useful according to God's purpose. So no matter what you're going through in life, don't focus so much on it getting better. Focus more on how it's going to be useful for God's purpose in your life, because the ups and downs of life just come.
Yeah.
You know, they come.
That's great, Pastor Jay. I knew exactly what verse I wanted to use, and I wanted to be sure that I was thinking the right one. So thank you for buying me some time. All right. So the question is, what verse do you go to? What's a good verse when you're going through a hard time?
He asked specifically for what's the best.
Well, what's the best? Well, I love Psalm 91, chapter 1 and 2, verses 1 and 2, and it says, "He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will remain secure and rest in the shadow of the Almighty, whose power no enemy can withstand. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust with great confidence and on whom I rely." I'm learning more and more, especially as we live life longer, that it's unfortunate that you can't trust everyone. And I find out more and more that the people that are closest in your life are the ones that disappoint and hurt you the most. I'm learning that there are things that you're just going to have to go through that sometimes is not because you wanted it to happen, or it's more inflicted than it is decisions, as you will go through things because of decisions. Sometimes the people we've allowed into our life, we then suffer the consequences of their decisions. And the reality is that sometimes life just does not feel good, is not great. A lot of people, you start to feel like, you know what's the point of living? What's the point of being here? Is this is all cracked up to be? And I think that's why people tend to go into dark places of depression and sadness and become suicidal. And I think a big part of that is because our security is in man and other people when it should be in God. And I'm learning more and more that even though man will lie to you and people will disappoint you and stuff every day will be unfair because it'll come from the left and the right and when you least expect it. But the more I put my faith and my trust and my security in a God who doesn't lie, who won't betray me, doesn't change his feelings about me from one day to the next, that's my safe place. And so that when people and things in life disappoint and hurt me, then that's, I think that's why I go to that scripture, because it says if I dwell, it's the secret place. If I dwell with him, he's my confidence, he's my strength, he's my source, he's going to give me rest, he's going to give me security. And at the end of the day, whose power no enemy can withstand. And so the other thing to that is that, as I mentioned, we're always going through stuff with people. We also don't fight against flesh, and we have to be mindful of that. When we are coming up against hardships and hard times, there's an adversary, there's an enemy that's fighting against us, and he'll use those very same people that you love or are supposed to love you. He'll use your coworkers, your kids, your spouse, dear friends, yourself sometimes even to self-sabotage. And the reality is that we work against an enemy. So yeah, go to Psalm 91. The whole chapter is incredible, but verses 1 and 2 are my go-to, because the Lord is my strength. And when everything feels like it's falling apart and it's crumbling right before my eyes, I know that God is a strong place.